Upon learning that Jack had run away from home, panic consumed Alice's thoughts. She felt the authorities weren't moving swiftly enough in locating her son, and when they presented a peculiar lead, Alice initially dismissed it as a prank. However, it soon became apparent that Jack's bus driver held more information than Alice had realized. The police interrogated the bus driver, confirming Jack's presence on the bus earlier that day. Yet, no one could determine where he disembarked or if he had even reached school. Reviewing the bus station's surveillance footage, the police were astounded to see Jack boarding. However, his destination puzzled them. It was far from his school, in the opposite direction. The reason behind Jack's unexpected journey became clear to his parents almost instantly. Though incredulous at the notion, they understood the significance of where Jack had gone and what he might find there. Fueled by urgency, they embarked on a frantic drive, hoping to reach their destination in time. Recalling Alice's past involvement in equestrian competitions, where she achieved notable success, shed light on her determination to help battle horses in need. With support from loved ones, Alice established a horse farm dedicated to rehabilitating these majestic creatures, offering them a new lease on life. Every day, Alice and her husband, Greg, dedicated themselves wholeheartedly to the well-being of the horses on their farm. As time passed, their commitment to the animals became their life's purpose, so much so that even the arrival of their son, Jack, did not alter their devotion to the farm. Jack, a healthy and vibrant child, developed a deep affection for the horses as he grew up, particularly bonding with Sam, a young foal who had endured early hardship and had been distant from his mother. Sam quickly recovered under Alice and Greg's care, forming a special connection with Jack. Their bond was so strong that Jack would often nap with Sam in the stable. In fact, Sam would become upset if Jack wasn't around, prompting Alice and Greg to bring him over. However, when Jack turned 6, the family faced a difficult decision. They had to sell Sam. Despite their strong bond, it was not feasible for Jack to spend his life on the farm. Sam needed a home where he could be ridden daily and receive specialized care. The news of Sam's departure was particularly hard for Jack to accept. 2 years passed, and although the routine at the horse farm remained much the same, something was amiss with Jack. Ever since Sam's departure, he had not been his cheerful self. Recognizing this change, Alice decided to take Jack to visit the riding school where Sam had been sold. When Greg learned of their plan, he readily agreed to join them, sensing that this visit might bring some much-needed solace to their son. This trip was meant to lift Jack's spirits, though his parents had kept the destination a secret, simply telling him they were going away for the weekend. As they embarked on the 6-hour journey in their car on Saturday morning, Jack remained clueless about their plans. Upon arriving at the riding school, he observed the horses grazing in the fields, still unaware of the purpose of their visit. At the far end of the field stood a magnificent bay horse, and in an instant, Jack recognized him as Sam. Acting on impulse, he crawled under the fence and dashed into the field. When Sam caught sight of him, he galloped straight towards Jack, rekindling their bond effortlessly. Despite the years apart, Sam remembered Jack, and their reunion was filled with joy and companionship throughout the weekend. As the time to depart approached, Jack's tears flowed once more. Reflecting on their visit, Jack and his parents were grateful for the trip to the riding school, despite Jack's initial confusion. His happiness was palpable, evident in his tears that couldn't be contained. In the ensuing days and weeks, Jack's demeanor gradually improved, leaving Alice and Greg relieved and reassured by their decision to reunite him with Sam. However, they remained unaware of the looming changes in Jack's behavior and routine. He began spending less time at the horse farm, eventually neglecting his visits altogether, while his interactions with his parents dwindled to mere hours each day. Unbeknownst to Alice and Greg, Jack had been formulating a plan during these weeks of apparent improvement, a plan that would shock everyone around him. The pieces of the puzzle fell into place for Jack as he rode the bus to school the following day. Around 11 a.m., the school contacted Alice, inquiring about Jack's whereabouts. Since he hadn't been reported absent due to illness, they expected him to be in class. Alice was stunned by the news and took a few moments to compose herself before rushing to inform Greg. Upon hearing the news, Greg immediately attempted to report Jack missing to the police, only to be told that a person could only be declared missing after 24 hours had passed. Frustrated by this protocol, Greg took matters into his own hands, scouring the neighborhood in his car for hours in search of his son. The following day, Greg went to the police station to officially report Jack as missing, feeling frustrated by the delay caused by the 24-hour rule. The police, realizing the seriousness of the situation, initiated a full-scale investigation. In their town, where small crimes were more common, a child's disappearance was a rarity. The police began interviewing individuals and circulating Jack's image in the media, urging anyone with information to come forward. Despite these efforts, days passed with no new leads. Eventually, the police turned their attention to the school bus driver who had driven the route on the day Jack went missing. They meticulously reviewed all the stops, as there was no other plausible explanation for Jack's disappearance from the bus before reaching school. Once the police began their investigation, they focused on the only stop the school bus made on its route, a local bus station from which buses departed to various destinations across the country. Immediately, officers headed to the bus station, believing Jack may have disembarked there. Initially, the bus station staff did not recall seeing Jack, as they had been monitoring the news and would have reported any sightings. Nevertheless, the police requested a review of the security camera footage to verify. After hours of scrutiny, an officer spotted a figure resembling Jack. The image was enhanced and compared with a photo of Jack, confirming his presence at the bus station. Reviewing the footage, the police observed Jack boarding a bus destined for a small rural village approximately 6 hours away. Puzzled by this discovery, as the village seemed to offer little of interest, the officials were at a loss as to Jack's motive for heading there. Seeking answers, the police turned to Jack's parents. Upon mentioning the village's name, Alice broke down in tears, indicating that the place held significant meaning to them. All the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, revealing why Jack had traveled to the small town. It was the same town where they had visited a riding school a few years prior, the very place where Sam had been sold. With this realization, Alice and Greg immediately embarked on the 6-hour drive to the riding school. Upon arriving, they recounted the entire story to the owners, hoping to find some clue of Jack's whereabouts. Although the owners hadn't seen Jack, they permitted them to search the premises. Despite scouring the fields, nothing seemed amiss, leaving them uncertain. As they began to doubt their instincts, the owner noticed something peculiar out of the corner of their eye. Hastening to Sam's stables, they discovered not only Sam but also Jack, asleep next to him. It was a scene reminiscent of old times when they would nap together in the stables. Overjoyed, they woke Jack and Sam, relieved to embrace Jack once more, but also admonishing him for his actions. Before departing, the owners insisted that Sam be returned to the horse farm, recognizing the profound bond between Jack and the horse. True to their word, within a week, Sam was back at the farm, not as a frail and malnourished horse, but as Jack's loyal companion, their bond stronger than ever.